Hello everybody, and welcome to another Flaming Dice Reviews video. My name is Matt, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tides of Infamy, a pirate-themed strategy game with tons of mythical sea creatures, nautical warfare, a ghost ship, and tons of pirate booty. So I'm going to take a quick look at the gameplay. We're not going to go so much into the rules, but we will touch on them. And we're going to see what this game looks like, and then I'll meet you back here for my final thoughts. As always, I'll see you then. Now let's take a quick look at the components that come inside of Tides of Infamy. First and foremost, I'd like to point out this really nice deck box that didn't have to be included, but was. It's a nice way to store your cards. Speaking of cards, there's 3 decks. You have your battle cards, you have your movement cards for your ships, and then you have your pirate luck cards, which are a gamble. They might have something good or bad in them. You have an entire armada of ships, including a ghost ship. You have some various tokens, you have your treasure, you have your victory point tokens, you have your rule book, some player tiles, and these are just specific to the player and do not go out on the game board, and then you have 36 game tiles. Now the game recommends that you set your first game up for 20 tiles, so you have 16 extra. No game will ever be the same. You can make the player area larger. You can add more portals, more obstacles, more ghost ship encounters, maelstroms that will sink your ship, all kinds of cool stuff. So, as you can see, the components are just extremely top-notch. Let's take a quick look at the tiles that come in the game, and just so you can get an idea of what you'll encounter as you sail around and explore the world. So we have here just a plain empty ocean. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a picture of like a kraken barely visible under the water. That's just for a little bit of visual excitement. The kraken unfortunately doesn't do anything. There's also tiles that have islands on them, and islands spawn resources, and that's a one-time spawn. You have pictures of the ghost ship, and once the ghost ship tile, the first ghost ship tile, is activated or revealed, the ghost ship appears on the board. You have everyday obstacles like icebergs and rocks. You have portals, and portals can be used to sail from one point instantly to the other. You have up here the maelstrom, which not only is it impassable, but if you blindly sail into them or into it, then it will destroy your ship. You have let's see, there was something I was looking for. Oh yeah, you have the starting tile up here, which is where all ships go into and out of play, and there could be more than one of those on the board. So the art on the tiles is just fantastic. It's very immersive. So let's take a little look at how gameplay works in Tides of Infamy. And this is just an example setup that I threw together really quick. I don't know what's underneath these tiles. It could be something good, it could be something bad, it could be something, or nothing at all rather. So the first thing you need to know is at the beginning of your turn, you get to draw a movement card for each of your ships. And the artwork is different, and they also have a number down here at the bottom telling you how many spaces a ship can move. And you can assign those to your different ships. And it should be noted that each player has 3 ships every turn. They can't be destroyed except temporarily. And so just to give you an example of how it plays, let's say this is the red player's turn. I will assign this 3 movement to my small ship here. And I'm going to move 1, 2. Now, this is a unexplored portion of the map. So what I would do is I would pick this up, line up the arrow from the direction whence I came, 2, 3. Now you may notice that this island has been revealed, and that is the Sapphire, I do believe. So a Sapphire will spawn here. Now I can use my other cards. Remember, I have a 4 and a 5, and we'll get to that Pirate Luck here in just a moment. So I'm going to use the 4 on my medium-sized ship and go 1, revealing this tile, and there we go. There's a diamond. So let me find that right quick. I'm very prepared as usual. So that was 1, 2, 3. Remember, that diamond spawned there. So now I get to put it on my ship. And the cool thing is you have to leave in the direction of one of these currents. So I can't go this way for my 4th action. However, I can go this way back to port to drop it off and score it. Now for my last movement, I have a 5 and then a Pirate Luck symbol. So I can move my ship, but we've seen enough of that. Let's get to the Pirate Luck. So I have drawn this Pirate Luck card, and I'll read it to you right quick. It says, while casting your nets, you pull up a sea nymph. She barters for her life, promising to float up a chest of gold for her release. She is good to her word. Add 1 brown treasure chest token to your ship. So in this case, let's say that I played it on my own ship. I gambled and I played it on my own ship. In this case, I would get to add a brown piece of treasure to my ship. And it's also worth noting, since we're on the topic of treasure, that the 3 different ships, you have a man of war, you have a sloop of war, and a bylander, which we're not going to get too caught up in all the technical terms, but they all have different carrying capacity, as denoted by these different size masts here. The man of war can carry 6, the sloop can carry only 2, and the bylander can carry 4. So the Pirate Luck cards can be good, they can also be very bad. If I had, for example, drawn this one, surrounded by debris, you spy floating treasure chest. Stopping to secure the treasure was a bad idea. You never saw the giant whale coming. Add 1 brown treasure chest token to your space. Move your ship to harbor. All tokens stay on space. In this case, had I been sailing and I drew that card and played it on myself, I would have to remove that ship, place it in my harbor, and I can't remember where it was, but that token would remain on space, free for another player to come through and add to their ship. And getting these pieces of treasure back to your back to harbor are how you score your marks of infamy, your victory points. At least that's one way. The other way is battles. Battles occur anytime ships from or opposing ships end up on the exact same space. So in this example, the blue player is going to move their man of war onto the space with the red player's sloop of war, and a battle will start. And we're going to take a look at how the battles are played out. Now there are 2 different ways to do battle in Tides of Infamy. They have an easier version and then a more advanced version. I've never done the easier version, and I'm assuming most people watching this video would probably do the advanced play version. So that's what we're going to focus on here. It's called Red Sky. The first thing you should know is that there are essentially 6 types of cards. You have your wild cards, your pistols, your rum, your cannon, your fire, and your swords or cutlasses. These are going to be your suits, and they do have numbers ranging from 1 to 6, other than wild, obviously. So players are dealt their cards, and a card is dealt out to the table that the players are forced to use. Now, different ships, not only do they have different carrying capacity, they also have different capabilities in battle. And the sloop of war gets 5 cards when it's on defense. It gets 6 cards when it's on attack, but in this scenario it was a defender, so he gets 5 cards. The man of war gets 7 cards whether they're on attack or defense. So the blue player, having the distinct advantage, has 7 cards, and the red player has only 5. Now, just like in poker, players are allowed to discard a certain number of cards. In this game, it's 2. And then players are given a chance to surrender, at which point the penalties are less severe. And then at the end, or by the end, they will have laid down 4 cards. But let's go back a little bit to the first phase, where players discard and then play 2 cards. And in this scenario, the red player has played a 2 and a 3. The blue player has also played a 2 and a 3. Now at this point, players can choose whether or not they want to surrender or stay in the fight. The blue player probably thinks his chances are pretty good, especially since he had more cards to choose from. The red player is going to play down a 4 and a 5, making his total, or his hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In essence, a straight. So in this case, it is going to be 5 sequentially numbered cards, which is a grape shot, which is a middle of the road type card or type hand. Then the blue player is going to lay down 2 more cards as well. He has 5 of the same suit, which is called no quarter, which is the 4th highest hand that you can have. So with that, the blue player will win the fight. So let's say that in this scenario, the blue man of war defeated the red sloop of war. In that case, since the blue player was the attacker, the red player's ship doesn't suffer as harsh a penalty since they were the defending player, but their ship is removed and goes back to the owner's harbor. The freight that it was carrying is left on the space, and the blue player can then pick that up. Another thing is that for winning the battle, the blue player will get a mark of infamy, or victory point. Welcome back, everybody. Now that we've seen what comes inside of Tides of Infamy, let's talk about my final thoughts. Well, I really enjoyed every single game of Tides of Infamy that I've played. I've been able to play it as both a 2-player game and a 4-player game. And that's one thing that should be said for sure, is that the game does offer a team play variant. So you could actually play on teams. Not a lot of games do that. And this gives you the chance to go every man for himself in true pirate fashion, or to have a team battle. And like I said, I haven't had a chance to try that yet, but I think that would be a lot of fun. Right out of the gate, component quality, just off the charts. They didn't have to include that deck box. It serves no purpose other than to protect the cards while you're not playing. The tiles are incredibly thick. The ships are phenomenal. They actually hold the treasure as you're moving your ships around the board. So that's just fantastic. The cards are of a nice quality. All of the artwork is beautiful. So as far as components and artwork, just unbelievable. It's a fantastic game as far as production value. Gameplay, I've really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun to explore the map and flip over these tiles and see, oh, well, here's, I'm going to sail into this uncharted area, and you flip it over and there's an island with a ruby or a diamond or some other valuable form of treasure that you can take home and score. That's a lot of fun. Or you might sail into a maelstrom and sink your ship. So that's one of the really cool things about the game, is that the exploration has a certain danger to it. Then you always have to worry about your opponents attacking your ships and taking the stuff that you've gone out and found, and which ship of yours is carrying the component, because you have your big man of war that's really good at fighting, and then you have your smaller, faster ships that aren't as good at fighting but still serve their purpose. That's a lot of fun, and it's very stressful. In fact, most of the time, the players that I've played with haven't made it back to port with goods very often, because we're so busy sinking each other's ships that they don't score very often. The pirate luck cards that are in the game introduce a really cool storytelling element, because whenever you get the movement cards to move your ships, and they have the pirate luck symbol down on the bottom right, You can choose whether you want to play that on your own ship or on your opponent's ship. And it's dangerous either way, because if you play it on yourself, sure, it might be something good, but it also might be something bad that sinks your ship. Same for your opponent. However, if you get, it varies depending on the number of players in the game, but after you get so many pirate luck cards, no matter who gives it to you, you start getting victory points. So that's another thing, is like, yeah, you might sink their ship, but are they at the point where they're getting victory points for you doing that? It might actually be safer than letting them try to get back to harbor. Speaking of letting them get back to harbor, the battles in this game are very unique. I think most designers would have included some type of dice mechanic to do the fighting. I think that would be the obvious choice. However, this game utilizes a poker-style card game at every battle, which is very unique, and it's a lot of fun because there's more than the 4 suits that are in normal deck of cards. You've got 6 suits, but there are less numbers, or ranks, as Tides of Infamy calls them. So there's a lot of possible combinations for the battles, and it introduces this fantastic bluffing mechanic because the battles are played in phases. So if you have total crap cards, you might still be able to bluff your opponent into surrendering, because not only might you be a good bluffer, but the consequences of surrendering in a battle are way less than losing a battle. So there's that really great bluffing side to the game that I think a lot of strategy games like this lack. So this game really just has a wonderful mix of experiences. It really is just dripping with pirate theme. It's just a great game if you enjoy games like Merchants and Marauders, or Black Tide, I believe it's called. That's the other pirate theme game that one I haven't had a chance to try, but I always thought it looked really good. But if you like that sort of thing, or if you're big into the pirate theme, I think Tides of Infamy would be right up your alley. Right now, the game is made or is available on the Game Walker website. I don't know if it's in production yet, or correction, in distribution yet, but you can find it at the Game Walker website. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and visit us at our website at www.flamingdicereviews.com. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll check this game out. It really is worth a look. See you next time. Bye-bye.